son Cooper was a happy, healthy boy. The first 18 months of his life, he had no problems whatsoever in development. He was born at 13 pounds. He was a large baby until about 20 months of age. Cooper started to get sick and developing a very swollen stomach and looked a little bit jaundicey. His skin looked jaundicey and his eyes looked really pale and sick. And so I took him to the doctor and immediately they ordered lab tests and felt his stomach, and they said his spleen was enlarged and had told me that Cooper had leukemia and he had been sick for some time. I'm a very, very strong woman. It takes a lot to break me. Being in that doctor's office when they put their arm around you to let you know that your child has cancer, I didn't even know what to do. I fell apart. The doctor told me I had 1 hour to get to UC Davis Hospital, that they had a bed waiting for Cooper. And so that hour drive to UC Davis was a very hard and blurry visioned drive. I was crying the entire way. That's when our journey with leukemia began. They ran a bunch of tests and they diagnosed him with high-risk leukemia because they found a lot of cancer cells packed into his spinal column. I didn't know that leukemia didn't have stages like other cancers. It's high risk or low risk. And to find out he had the worst of the two was hard to deal with. And they laid out for me the plan that was going to take place for Cooper over the next 3 to 4 years. Lots and lots of rigorous chemo treatments that were 4 to 5 times a week. He would have to endure radiation. And to sit there and look at your child and they can't eat and they can't speak, and it was hard. So the first 20 months was difficult, and watching Cooper struggle with what they called the protocol recommendations of medicine. Cooper has had well over 140 chemo IV treatments and did quite a few radiation treatments on his brain. I think out of all of it, the radiation was the hardest because you're doing radiation on a brain that's not yet developed. And when I had to go to that doctor and meet that doctor and discuss with them the option for radiation, he said, look, if we do radiation on a brain that's under 5 years old, you're risking the chance of giving him brain cancer in his 20s. So as a parent, how do you say, go ahead and do the radiation now to heal the leukemia with the fear that there could be a future of cancer again? It was hard, but you have to live in the moment, make the decision for the moment. And here we are now where he's on maintenance. We give chemo drugs at home. So we're at a point with him right now where he's great. His hair has grown back, his eyelashes are back, his eyebrows are back. He's had the same consistent personality of a normal, typical 2 or 3 year old. His energy level has never changed. People do not think he's sick. He runs around and has fun, and I think it's because he doesn't know he's sick. And that's probably the best thing out of all of this, is that he has no idea. This is norm to him now. Through all this, Cooper's able to live life as a normal child. It's hard to make ends meet as a single parent, and then you have a kid with cancer on top of that. My support system has been friends. I don't have a lot of family that has gone through this with us because it's hard for them to understand or comprehend or deal, but I do have a great deal of friends that have thrown events, planned fundraisers on our behalf to help us. And most recently we had a barbershop haircutting event. It was Cooper's first haircut since the radiation and the hair loss and all that. So it was kind of great to watch him go from having no hair to a whole head full of hair to being the first person to have his hair cut for that event. I first became aware of what Leukemia Lymphoma Society was through an old coworker that does team and training. Wow, they are just such a great support to families out there. The financial support, but then the resources they have for you just to understand the cancer alone, you know. I myself am kind of an advocate now that my child's going through it and sharing information with new families and parents, and always direct them to contact their local Leukemia Lymphoma Society chapter so they can get information or resources that they need. It takes a special kind of person to become a candidate for Man or Woman of the Year or Students of the Year. But it says something about your character when you are able to fundraise and volunteer on the behalf of others. And for Cooper's face to be used for that, it's just such a blessing, because then those people running can see where those funds go to. We're just so appreciative to all of you for taking the time to do this aside from your regular life and to help raise money for LLS.